Hello, everybody. How are you? I am Andre C. Hatchett, president of Black Men United. Welcome to our Manhood Training Week. This is the week where we empower our fellow Black brothers, and we get camaraderie, where we can learn together, grow together, and have some feedback. Hold on. All right. Still here. Feedback. All right. So we are here to get the job done. So as we saw, brother Tyrese last week had a big meltdown. So I don't have the brother for crying, but my thing is we need to have places to go. We need to have safe haven places to go like this. I don't have biological children, but I did date a woman. And after we stopped dating, she didn't let me see her daughter, which I was treating as my daughter anymore. That thing hurt. That thing really, really, really hurt. So this is why we're here. We're here so we can help each other grow financially, spiritually, economically, decision-making wise. We're living in a country where people want us dead. We have a president who calls people who should church is mental health issues. So I'm stating this because I want any ladies out here, anybody with a son out here, get them in here. They need to learn this. They need to learn how to survive in a country that doesn't really want them to. So that's why we are here. Proud to be here. I have my main man, Mr. H. Cortez. How are you, leader?
I'm doing great, Dre. Pleasure to be here, man. It's always a pleasure to serve Black Men United, man. I think what you guys are doing is amazing, the platform and the reason behind the whole thing, man, because like you said, we need places to go, man. And this is a good safe haven where we can talk and discuss openly the things that are affecting us, be it positive or negative. Obviously, we want to share the positive things that are affecting us. If I'm winning, you're winning. We want brothers to know how to win.
Hello.
But also the things that are causing us trouble, where we're struggling, where we're stumbling. We want to be able to reach out to brothers and say, hey, man, have you ever stumbled over this same thing? And maybe you have, and maybe you can point me into some directions to help me overcome that challenge, man. So I applaud you for everything that you do, man. So I love to serve on this platform.
Appreciate it. Yeah, my man Cortez, he's a constant contributor, all around great guy, somebody you want to know. So for anyone who's joining us, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you caring. You have a place to come.
Yes.
Think of it like a really, really cool fraternity without getting hazed.
Right.
All right. Think of it like that. So I came up with some slides. I want to show you guys what we're about here. So for some of you, this is your first time hearing about us. Welcome, 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 and let's get this puppy started. So I had an idea for Manhood Training Week, not because I'm a perfect man at all, like literally at all, but I said, if I know this, Cortez knows this, Boyce Watkins knows this, Lex Kelly knows this, and some other people are going to join us later in the week as well. I said, there are probably other people who can gain from this and other people who can teach on this. So I said, Manhood Training Week, where we're going to strengthen, empower, and grow together. A week, straight men, straight talk. We're going to talk about everything and anything under the sun. So this is our first installment of it. If you have any feedback or suggestions when we're done with the week, please send it over. I'm going to send out a survey because we want to grow this thing and have it be a life-changing epidemic.
Absolutely.
All right, this is my man, Lex Kelly. Lex Kelly in the building. Lex Kelly, great human, great guy. He's a coach, he's a mentor, business owner, homeowner, husband, and parent. The guy knows how to get stuff done. He helps run the show, but I mean, he runs the show over here at Black Men United. He gets the all-around great human being, Lex Kelly. He's going to be here this week as well on a few of the sessions. The founder of Black Men United, who's the brainchild of it, none other than the general Dr. Boyce Watkins. He had this idea, was like, man, he goes all around the world, and he's hearing that a lot of us have a similar struggle, a similar component. And I was like, what if we can just talk to each other? What if we can just talk to each other and get a grasp of what we need to do to take over the world? His quote, we are elevating the voice and collective power of Black men all around the world. Heck yeah. This is me. I'm the co-founder, Andre C. Hatchett. Hello. It's our first time meeting. I want Black kings to run the world, period. Like, that's it. Period. Nothing less than that. I want us to run the world. Looks like we have somebody else in the building. Who is that? Everyone in the chat room. Hey, guys in the chat room. Hello, everybody out there in the chat room as well. I want us to run the world. So I want to end Black male inferiority. Let me take that myself. I want you to see my face on this. So I want to end Black male inferiority. A lot of us have an inferiority complex, which is legitimate. It comes from a legitimate place, but I'm not with the we have to be less than anybody thing. I'm not with the we have to be at the bottom. We've had a rush 500 years, but we've ran the world before this. So it's going to take some time. It's not overnight. But Cortez, we're going to get back to the throne.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you don't have a 1,000-year game plan, get one. Because this is not, it's not going to happen overnight, man. It's not going to happen with, as much as I do, I'm a father of 5 sons. As much as I do to try to help those guys, it probably is not going to happen for that generation. But we have to start somewhere. So I want to help begin that place. So if each one of them have 2 children apiece, now that's 10 more soldiers, 10 more generals that this going to continue. Now it's 3rd generation thought process, strategic planning, and that sort of thing. So it might take a while, but hell, we got to start.
We got to start. We have to start. So I'm going to bring back up my slides. If anyone hop in here, type in what you need to work on. We want to hear what you need to work on. Let's hear from you in particular. What is something that you want to increase within yourself? All right, this is my man H. Cortez here, wealth coach, author, 2-time author, marketing expert, husband, and as he just said, proud father of 5. He's the real deal, guys. He's the real deal. So, wealth coach. What is a wealth coach?
So for me, a wealth coach is someone that understands how wealth is created and is coaching others, along with myself, how to do the same thing. Because while I do consider myself wealthy, I'm not in any way, shape, or form anywhere close to my $1 billion empire that I'm building. But I understand, $1 billion empire with a B, right?
A B.
With a B.
That's cool.
And that's one of the things that I want us to get, man, is we can do all things, man. So don't be afraid to shoot for the sky. I was telling somebody some of my vision, right? The 4 pillars that I'm going to stand on in this $1 billion empire of mine is private equity businesses. One in which being media, because I love the media space. I will have a media company that rivals Ted Turner. That's just an aspiration, right? I talked about real estate as one of those pillars. And I said, yes, multifamilies and all that stuff, man, but I'm talking skyscrapers. You know, at this next level thinking, guys, why the heck not, right? Talking about assets and those sorts of portfolios and things of that nature. So I understand some things about building wealth, so I coach those through some simple strategies on what they could do to get their money to work for them a lot better. And then once you get your cash flow right, see, as a people, we don't have a get money problem. Black people are some of the money gettingest people on this planet, right? We have a cash flow problem. Our cash is always flowing away from us. So I coach people on how to spin the tide, stop the bleeding, get that cash to start flowing in the right direction so that you can use it for your benefit. And that's primarily what I do as a wealth coach. And then entrepreneurship is a big thing. You can't build, there's not a single wealthy person on this planet that has ever built wealth. And I'm not talking about, we know that you can also steal wealth and that sort of, but I'm talking about those who have actually built wealth. There's not a single wealthy person on the planet that has ever built wealth without entrepreneurship. So that's a strong piece. And that's one of the things, one of the foundational principles that I teach as a wealth building coach is like, we're in America. If you don't have a business in America, you might as well be a foreigner in your own country. America is business. So you got to understand you need to be there. So, that's kind of one of the foundational principles. And as a wealth coach is entrepreneurship. And that's where the whole marketing piece comes in is, as I'm teaching entrepreneurship, then obviously you can't be an entrepreneur and in business if you don't know how to market, you don't know how to brand yourself. So I've been successful and able to do that. So I teach people how to do that as well.
Beautiful. And if you can, Cortez, if you could share the link so they can join the academy.
Yes.
And pick up the book, that would be great.
Yes. So it is monetizemylifeacademy.com. monetizemylifeacademy.com. And if you use coupon code only $20, so only $20, it's that way for the rest of the year because you can join that academy for just $20 per month. But you need that coupon code only $20, only $20. So you get all the branding and the marketing. I call everything branding and marketing under one roof. Everything a solopreneur needs to explode their business and take their brand to another level.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you can type in the chat box when you get a chance, big brother. I would appreciate that. So Cortez is the real friggin' deal, which is why I asked him to kick off this week. All right, networking.
Yes.
Some people are terrible at it. Some people are insulting at it. Some people don't know any better, and they don't mean to. Some people know, and they don't care. You are what I call a master networking, meaning you network without annoying the hell out of people and rub people the wrong way in Brother Dre lingo. Like,
appreciate that.
You got it. You got it. I get message probably, it got to be a couple hundred times a month, easily a couple hundred times a month. And very few people stand out because most people are doing the same stuff and asking the same stuff, and they're not very nice. Just to put it plainly, they aren't friggin' very nice. But you have nailed the skill, Cortez. Let me ask you, just real one-on-one, how do you network?
So I wrote some notes out, man, because I respect the platform and I really wanted to give Black men and the sisters who got brothers in here, that whether it's your husband, whether it's your son, this is a fundamental skill that we absolutely have to have. But I want to give you a few things that we got to get rid of out of our mindset if we're going to be good networkers. And the first thing is we've got to get rid of this Hollywood macho man stuff.
Ooh, that's deep. That's deep,
because that's where we're going wrong is the definition of power is when you can define someone else's existence and have them take ownership of that definition as if they came up with it themselves, right? So for years, Hollywood has been defining to us what manhood is. And that's one of the reasons that we don't network too well, because Hollywood macho says that I'm a lone ranger. I don't need any help. I can do it all my own. I'm Superman, right? We got to get out of that if we're going to become good at networking, right? Another thing that Hollywood kind of does to us from a networking standpoint is everybody wants a sidekick, but nobody wants to be one.
Oh, you getting cold in here. Type in the chat box code. Did you hear that?
So that's what Hollywood does. Everybody wants to be a sidekick or wants a sidekick, but nobody wants to be. Everybody wants a right-hand man, but you ain't right-hand man to nobody.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest things I've actually ever heard.
So we gotta change that, but that comes from Hollywood. That comes from the phony imagination of somebody who's dictating to us our reality. So we're not gonna win as networkers when that's the problem, right? Other thing that we've got to get rid of, or not get rid of, but we have to start a solid ego management program for ourselves, right? There is a time and a place to have the Beyonce, Kanye big ego. There's a time and a place for that. The time and the place is usually few and far between, though. But most people walk around with these huge egos all the time. So I'm not saying that you get rid of your ego, but what I'm saying is you have to understand ego management. There is a time where I take a back seat to a leader such as a Dre, or I take a supportive role to a leader such as a Lex Kelly, because I understand how to manage my ego. Wow. If everybody's in the room with these super big egos, then here's what you're going to get. It's going to hinder the collaborative process. Because I don't care how good you are as a leader, if we're coming together to do a project, somebody's got to lead.
It's not going to work.
So if we decide that somebody's going to lead, then I know how to manage my ego and say, okay, this is Brother Dre's thing. This is his space. So let me tone ego down and let me make sure that I am supporting him in his leadership role, and everything that he needs to get accomplished, I'm just there for him. I can throw him a suggestion or two, but this is his deal. So we don't want to dilute the collaborative process. The other thing that you're doing, you guys heard the term, when it comes to ego, you're basically edging God out, right? And I'm going to tell you something about that. It's basically you're edging the God out in you. And when you edge the God out in you, it makes it extremely difficult for you to see the God in somebody else. That's a big problem, because if I can't see the God in you, then I will refuse to admit that you have some good qualities about yourself, right? So we've got to understand how to manage the ego so we don't hinder the collaborative process, right? We got to understand how to not edge the God out in us. It's okay for me to be God and Dre to be God at the same time. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't have to, if I had a candle and Dre's candlestick was out, for me to light his candle doesn't take anything away from my fire.
That's cool.
And I can help him in that regard. So you don't want to edge God out, because what happens is you will then refuse to see the God in others. And then this is another good thing. It's okay to admire another brother and tell that brother. It's okay to admire another brother and tell that brother. See, where I come from, being raised as a shorty in the streets of St. Louis, and we would say, if I were to admire somebody else publicly and my homeboys were standing next to me and they heard me admiring somebody else publicly, what would they say? Man, get off dude's job. Stop riding his nuts. And all that kind of stuff. So that culture that we created stemmed the tide from me admiring some good qualities that I see in somebody else. Here's the danger in that. If I cannot admit to myself that there's something about Brother Dre, every time I see Brother Dre, he's handling business. So I admire that about him, but instead of telling him that, I'm thinking back, oh, don't get on his job. Let me start instantly competing with him in my mind. So now, because I don't want to admire his good qualities, let me tell you something about the subconscious mind. It will never allow you to attract that which you despise. Ooh. So if I'm low-key hating on Dre's good qualities, guess what? I will never develop them in me.
That's cool.
So instead of admiring him for what he has and the things that he's got going on, if I low-key hate on him, I will never, my subconscious mind will never let me become something that I despise. So I'm low-key hating on Dre. Dre handles his business, but I'm saying to myself, nah, that jigger think he too good. So your subconscious mind is going to say, we will never allow anybody in your life to come influence you to become a Brother Dre. We will never allow you to develop the skills that Brother Dre has, because you low-key despise Brother Dre. So why would we allow you to become that? So understand, in networking, it is okay to admire a brother, and it's also okay to tell that brother, Dre, use the shit, bro. Every time I look up, you're doing amazing things. You're connected with amazing people, and you're setting an example of what a Black man should be like. And brother, when you do get to the point where you have children, I know that they're going to be amazing kids, because I know what you're going to pour into them, because you're pouring into all of us as if we're your children, and we don't even have that type of connection with you. So it's okay to actually admire a brother and then tell them so, because in doing that, you're admitting that that's a quality that I wouldn't mind developing myself. And believe it or not, man, the universe, all the universe knows how to do is say yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So when you say that brother sharp, the universe says, okay, I can tell that you want some of that in you. The universe says yes, and start putting books in front of you that will help you develop Brother Dre's sharpness. We'll put mentors into your life that will help you develop Brother Dre's sharpness. Because you're willing to admit and admire that those qualities, man, I would not mind having Brother Dre's qualities. And the universe says, okay. And it starts to manipulate your circumstances and those around you and everything that's in your world to help shape you into some of those things or some of those qualities that Brother Dre had. So those are some things that we got to stop doing if we want to really become good at networking. And then I've got some practical, some things that we need to start doing to make you a better networker. But if we got some questions or something you want me to pause in between, I can sit.
Yeah. Well, real quick, I think people say drop gems, King. You attract who you are. Crazy gems, Brother Cortez. Yeah, man. Whole lot of love. Whole lot of love here in the chat box.
Appreciate it.
This is the real deal, guys. And tell a friend to come tomorrow. BMUworkshops.com. Manhood Training Week. How are you going to level up if you don't meet new people?
Man.
If you are complaining about your circle, if they don't want to go see Hidden Colors with you, if they don't want to go look at that property with you, if they don't want to come to the webinar with you, you're like, damn, man, my friends suck. You're subconsciously, you're saying that you suck. Yep. Now, I think it's good to say you suck when you suck, AKA acting below your standard, whatever you want to call it. If you're going to be nice to yourself, be nice to yourself. I call it me sucking. I get sad when I'm like, damn, I'm really underachieving here by my own standards. I literally get sad, like literally, I was like cry. But then I was like, okay, what do I got to do to change it? Who do I have to attract? What do I have to give? You know something, Cortez and crew. I always have an internship going where I'm an intern.
Mm-hmm.
I consistently always have an internship going. It might not be on title, where I'm the little guy, and I'm there literally. It might be getting water. It might be running a podcast. It might be posting stuff on Facebook pages and Instagram for somebody else. I do it consistently. One, for me, the best way to manage the ego is to realize you can become an egomaniac.
Yeah.
When people say, oh, I could never be that person, I'm like, be careful, because when you assume you cannot be that, it's easy for that to just take you over, just to take over. So two, I learn. I literally sit back and I learn. I learn what I got to do. I learn how to grow. I learn what they're doing. Okay, how do they put a team together? How do they do that? Sit there, do whatever it has to be done. And those are some tidbits on my behalf. Brother Cortez, when networking, I mean, you have a Facebook page with like 60,000 views, if I'm not mistaken. You do a show every morning, or damn near every morning, where you're wealth in the morning, talking literally about money in the morning.
Yeah.
Every morning. If you guys aren't friends with Cortez, go. I don't be getting more friends. Like I'll be maxed out with friends, but go like this. Yeah, go like this.
4,990 or something. I'm always deleting about 25 friends every week so I can make room for new connections. Right.
I'm just gonna hop in right there. You gotta kick some people out of your effing life. And I'm not sure because some ladies have their sons here. So if you're here, hey, hello guys. Kick some people out of your life.
Yeah.
We have this thing. it's like this addicted to mediocrity thing, Cortez, where we just feel guilty and terrible if we surpass somebody, if we say, well, they're not on my level. Like, man, some people got to go, Cortez.
You know what, Dre? It goes back to somebody else defining something for us. See, we have a false sense of loyalty. That's what it is. See, we're loyal to bums sometimes.
Whoa.
And that's just what it is. Somebody else has defined to us what loyalty is, so we don't want to elevate because we're going to leave those behind who do not want to elevate. No, man, you got to be willing to redraw your circle, man.
You got to be willing to redraw your life. You got to be willing to stretch your friggin' brain.
All the time.
Everyone's going to get a copy of my ebook who's joining the top 10 habits of underachievers, the top 10 habits of underachievers. And underachievers, there's something with change that just repels them. They aren't happy with their life. And by their standards, Cortez wants $1 billion. Their standard might be $50,000 net liquid. That might be their thing.
Right.
Boom. But they aren't happy where they're at. They don't have the 50, but they're not going to change. They don't like who they're dating, but they're not going to change their approach. It's madness. Shake things up, people. And everybody in here, shout yourselves out, by the way. I want to know who you guys are, how you got here, and I want to know your age, if you don't mind. Shout yourself out. So, Cortez, what turns you off? You have this massive following. You started a great movement. Much love to you. People reach out to you all the damn time. I know it. What is like, get the hell out of my inbox, dude?
You know what? The backwards approach to what a true networker would do is coming into my world for a handout before we even made formal introductions and stuff like that. It's like, show up in my inbox, do this for me, do that for me. And I'm like, who are you again? And I sometimes will say, peace, bro. I'm H. Cortez, financial health mentor. Pleased to meet you. And your name is. Because some of them are in my inbox and they got these crazy Facebook names and stuff. And I'm like, that's a turn off, because are you in my inbox and your name is Big Stick Mick on Facebook or something? Come on, man, get out of my inbox, because that's not professional. Right, and they don't even see that as not being in a professional approach. Their profile picture is a naked lady, and they in my inbox talking about I've got an investment for you to take a look at. Like, what, in the strip club? Because that's what we're representing here. So those are some of the things, man, that kind of just an approach that says, you have not even taken time to consider who you're approaching. Yeah. Because if you did, you'd have had some background. You'd have known by going through my timeline that I don't deal with that kind of foolishness. And then your approach could have been a little bit better. So let me give you what I would say. I wrote down 4 points to become a good networker. Number 1, if you want to make friends, show yourself friendly. If you want to make friends, show yourself friendly, right? It's we again, somebody else has defined to us what manhood is. So how many brothers you know that don't smile? You see that picture back there with that big old country grin right there? You know why that big grin is there? Because A, I'm happy, I'm satisfied with where I am and where I'm going, but that grin is inviting, and it says that I'm approachable. It says that if I was there mean mugging, talking about money, you might think I was talking about robbing you of your money, right? So you gotta be careful. So if you want to make friends, show yourself friendly. Number 2, especially in networking environments when you're trying to make a good first impression, the best way to make a good first impression is to let people know you're impressed by them. Stop the instant competition when you meet somebody for the first time.
Silly.
You want to let people know, or you want to make a good first impression, let them know you're impressed by them. If there's somebody out on Facebook and you want to get in touch with them, you want to get in their circle, do a little research on them and find out what it is that they do, how they do it, if they're successful. Then when you reach out to them, let them know how impressed you are by what they got going on. Hey, man, I've seen you. Man, you got some great things going on. And then you can introduce yourself. But if you want to make a good first impression, let people know that you are impressed by them. Number 3, you have to constantly be growing and working on yourself. Wow. Now, you're saying, wow, how does that work with networking? Because if you're going to network effectively, you have to have value to bring to the network. So if you're not constantly growing and working on yourself, then where is the value that you're bringing to the network? So constantly be working and growing on yourself so you have some value to bring to somebody else's network. You know, I constantly grow myself, so when Brother Dre reaches out, I've got some value to offer to the table, right? Constantly grow yourself. There's only 2 states of being on this planet, guys. You're either growing or you're dying. There's no middle ground. There's no in between. The moment you stop growing, you start dying instantly. That very same moment that you stop growing, you start dying. So continue to work on yourself so that you have some value to bring to the marketplace. And then number 4, Dre already said it, man. Serve. Be willing to serve. Everywhere I go, if there's a network that I want to be part of, I'm going to that network with hat in hand, asking how can I bring my little bit of resources, my little bit of know-how, and not try to supersede and become the instant leader. No, how can I bring my little bit of resources and add them to this stew? And if I can elevate it and make it better, great. If I can't, what can I do to serve and make this thing better based on who I am and what I bring to the table? So number 1, want to make yourself make friends, show yourself friendly. Number 2, if you're going to make a good first impression, it's okay to let the other person know you're impressed by them. Person tells me, hey man, how you doing? I'm H. Cortez. I got 5 sons. Oh, I got 6 sons. My sons play ball. Oh, my sons play ball and play music. Oh, my sons play ball, play music, and they date the hottest chicks at school. Oh, my sons play ball, they date the hottest chicks, and they about to be signed to Def Jam. Now we tongue wrestling at the introduction. Man, you got 5 children. It must be amazing. They must be proud of you as their dad, man. It can't be to raise 5 kids.
Cold.
Right?
Cold.
Oh man, it's not easy to raise 5 kids, man. But you know, what are their ages? I'm impressed by you raising 5 kids, man.
Deep. I love
right?
it. H. Cortez in the building. But you guys actually want to hop in here with us, type in open camera. Have another 10 minutes, Cortez?
I do, man. And I got 4 things that they need to learn about networking. So if you want to bring somebody on, that's cool.
Yeah, hop in and guys, type in open camera, and it's gonna automatically open your camera. So make sure you're ready. Real quick, what could somebody say to you to get your respect when networking?
Same thing. If they ask me a question and I answer it, and they appear to be genuinely interested and impressed by that answer, that's the key. Because now I'm going to instantly let my guards down, because I'm not going to say, I will tell you, when in networking situations, a lot of times people are guarded because they're saying, in this situation, somebody's going to want something from me.
Wow.
But when you show up and you take genuine interest in who I am, what I do, especially if you already have done some research and know a little bit about me, my guards come down instantly. Then we can have a real conversation. And then you could probably slide in whatever you need to slide in. And I'm at least going to consider it. Because you've already broken my guards down by letting me know that you have a genuine interest in me. Letting me know that you're impressed by some of the things that I've accomplished, even though I haven't accomplished much. but still, that makes a person feel good. And they will let their guards down and they will be more receptive to whatever you have to say.
Deep stuff. Deep stuff.
Yeah.
T, I'm trying to get you in here, T. Give me a second. Let me work on that for you. Any other questions you guys have for the general H. Cortez? Hey, Cortez, how many streams of income do you have?
Probably 4 to 5 really solid, really consistent. Really solid, really consistent. There are some other things trickling in a little bit, but I focus on my financial education franchise. That's first and foremost. The Branding and Marketing Academy, to your foot in the rear, man. Open your school, man. Open your school. So going well for me. It's growing month over month. So I'm excited about that. And then I also have, I do workshops and speaking engagements and things of that nature. So that's a stream. And then as a youth basketball coach and trainer, I still train kids in my basement. So I have members. That's actually a membership a deal as well. So.
Good. Oh, nice.
So yeah.
Good stuff, guys. I'm trying to open up your camera. It's not letting me. I don't know if it might be on my end, but I apologize. But feel free to type in the questions and your questions in the chat box. In the meantime, are you still life insurance now?
That is, that is something I just added. So I'm waiting on some other things to fall into place for that. But yeah, that is, I felt that under the Financial Health Mentor brand, that was a perfect ad because I talk about entrepreneurship. I teach tax minimization, debt elimination, credit education, asset accumulation, and now I've added asset protection. So that just makes sense.
I think it's damn near criminal to not have life insurance.
Yeah.
I don't, like how? Like we know we're gonna go. We don't know when. Hopefully it's a long time from now. But it's gonna happen. We have to have life insurance for it.
Yeah, it is. And it is literally the easiest way to transfer wealth.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way to transfer wealth. So if you are into generational wealth and you want to make sure that your grandchildren, your great grandchildren have something, life insurance is the easy. Because guess what? To be an entrepreneur, I have to have some skills, right? I have to have some skills to be an entrepreneur, right? And those skills can develop into a multi-million-dollar business, and then I can pass that down to my children. But what if you don't have skills as an entrepreneur, right? To be an investor, you have to have some skills, right? You have to learn how to trade. You have to learn how to invest. You have to learn the language of investing and all that kind of stuff. So to do that, you have to have you have to have some skills. Well, guess what? If you got a job and you talk to somebody like me who gets you set up on a nice policy, you don't have to have no skills to transfer wealth to your future descendants through insurance. And since we talk tax minimization, it's transferred tax-free for the most part. There's no estate tax involved, any of that, right? You literally, if you got $100,000 policy and you haven't taken any loans out against it, then your beneficiary is going to get the whole $100,000. Uncle Sam don't get his hands on it. It's there. And then if you have at least taught your descendants a thing or two about asset management, about money, about wealth, about capitalism, then they stand a greater chance to take that lump sum of money and build upon it. And now that's how you create a legacy for you and your family.
Here's my deal with life insurance. If a funeral costs on average between 7 and 13, 14, 15 grand or so, and if you don't have that, well, most people don't, because most people don't have $1,000 in liquid cash. How the hell do you not have life insurance? You can't afford to bury yourself. You don't have. Then people say life insurance is too expensive. Okay. You can't bury yourself. You don't have enough money to bury yourself, and you don't have a life insurance policy, which could start off anywhere from $20 a month. But you have phone insurance. But you have cell phone insurance.
Yeah, you got you. cell phone covered, you got your car covered, you got your house covered. Some people are renting, got renter's insurance because they might break in and steal your stuff, right? What you're saying, if you don't have at least final expense insurance, is you're saying, forget your family, I'm out of this piece, y'all deal with whatever, however y'all gonna deal with it. That's what you're saying.
Insulting.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Insulting is what it is.
You're saying, forget your family, I'm out of this piece. Why am I concerned about how much it costs to bury me? I'm gone, right? Mm-hmm. You have to ask yourself, if you got a wife and kids like I do, who's gonna take care of the mortgage if I'm gone? That's half of the income potential out of the household.
Bingo.
So I'm expecting her to carry on the lifestyle that we currently possess with half the income. Mm-hmm. How does that work? Right? And then you take it even one step less, Dre. What about an accident that knocked you off your feet for 12 months, 18 months? You had a horrific car accident, knocked you down for a little while, but good thing your income was not coming from your labor.
Thank God.
Because that would have changed some things for you, right? So now you have the ability to have disability insurance so that you protect your income, right? You know, a lot of guys who make good income, right? A brother of mine I grew up with just got word the other day before yesterday, motorcycle accident, might be paralyzed from the waist down.
Oh, God.
He has a construction company. He does construction. So hoping that the brother had his business, insured, and because now he made 90%, 100% of his income from his labor. But now he's going to be down for a little while. So if he didn't protect that income, then chances are things can get really real for, his wife and their children. So
it's a no-brainer, guys. Here's the link here. Holla at Cortez. Cortez, any other info you want to post in the chat box, Cortez, please do it.
Okay.
For your wealth building company. I know you show people how to lower their taxes, all the good stuff, because everyone here loves you, as I do. So please let them know how they can get down.
So four things that they need to learn in networking really quick, Dre. Mm-hmm. Number one, learn how to introduce yourself. Learn how. It seems very mundane. It seems very rudimentary. Learn how to introduce yourself, right? I'm H. Cortez, financial health mentor out of St. Louis, Missouri. What's your name? Why is that important that I tell them what I do and where I'm from? Because I'm trying to establish a connection. If I say what I do and where I'm from, he might say, hey, I know some people in St. Louis. Now we got an instant bond. Automatically, because I've given him my name and a couple other points he can relate to. Financial health, what's that all about? Got a connection. Learn how to introduce yourself. Number two, learn how to ask questions that are non-intrusive, right? Especially if this is somebody you're meeting for the first time. You don't want to start asking them how much money they make, right?
Not a good one.
You learn how to ask questions. Oh, you say you're from St. Louis? What part of St. Louis? I heard St. Louis is a pretty big city, right? So you can ask non-intrusive questions that can get people to lower their guard. So learn how the person who asks the questions control the conversation. So learn how to ask questions. If you're asking me a bunch of questions about me, come on, man. Who do I love to talk about more than anybody else on this planet? Me. So you're asking questions about me, guards all the way down. I love you. And we just met. Right? So learn how to ask non-intrusive questions. And a good example of an intrusive question is, you're a Democrat or a Republican, right? What's your religion? And, getting into that kind of stuff, you don't have to. You can ask all sorts of other questions without getting into, that level of depth of conversation right out the bat, because then you go from me loving you to me hating you, because now I'm offended. why would you ask me something like that, right? So learn how to ask non-intrusive questions. Learn how to edify others. Because what do most people do? They talk bad about everybody.
Wow.
So here this guy is, every time I talk to Cortez, he's got something positive to say about everybody in his life. Because I know how to edify other people, right? You tell me something that you heard about somebody, I'm like, man, you heard that about Brother Dre? Oh, man, Brother Dre, the truth, man. You seeing he's got so much going on. You got to really get to know Brother Dre, right? Learn how to edify other people, because when you are edifying other people and you're refusing to go negative, people will trust you more. Wait a minute. He had an opportunity to drag Brother Dre further down through the mud because I tossed him a lofted alley-oop for him and he didn't take it. Right? So now they say, okay, wait a minute. This brother is just positive and all he does is edify and uplift other people. So learn the art of edifying other people. And then last but not least, learn how to be supportive. Right? You can be supportive without fully participating a lot of times. I support a lot of people in a lot of things who support me. And that's a skill that you have to learn. Somebody wants something from you and you can't give it to them because of, conflict in schedule, because of lack of resources or whatever. Learn how to be supportive. Find a way to be supportive. Hey, I can't be there, but what I can do is throw you a plug on my show. I can't be there, but if you give me the content, I'll put it on my Facebook page for you to try to get some people out to your event or whatever. Learn how to find ways to be supportive because, again, you're building connections, right? And even though I couldn't do what you wanted me to do, I didn't just leave it at no. I said, no, but here's what I can do. So there's still a connection. There's a relationship forming there. And man, now you're not going to, the next time you have something, you're going to feel comfortable asking me because you're going to say, because I haven't told you no. I told you not right now. I told you what I couldn't do, but here's what I can do. We can go back and forth across that bridge many times we like. So really quick, 4 learns. Learn how to introduce yourself. Learn how to ask non-intrusive questions. Learn how to edify others. And then learn how to be supportive even when you can't do the main thing that someone's asked you to do. Is there other ways or other things that you can do to still be supportive and show your support?
Fantastic. Everybody give my man H. Cortez a hand.
Appreciate it. What's up, Lex?
What up, King?
My man T. Yo, T, try to get in, T, because I made you a panelist. I want you to try again. How are you doing this evening? He says hello to you, Cortez. I'm 19 and I'm honestly feel disempowered in my life right now. Whenever it comes to completion, competition, and things that are challenging me, I just feel powerless, like everybody is more advanced than I am, and I don't know what to do. So T, try to get in here, T. Try to get in here. I don't want to grow up as an adult. Well, the first thing you need to do is give yourself credit for being honest with yourself. Give yourself credit for being honest with yourself. And Cortez, what's your advice for that, and Lex as well?
That was the first thing. Own that, okay? And believe it or not, that might not be a bad thing because it sounds like you're around some winners. So if you feel a little like you can't cut the mustard with these guys, that might be a good place for you. Now, if this is just one of those things where your esteem is just low and everybody you're around seems like they're advanced, but it's good that you own that. Now, what are you going to do to grow and continue to build value in yourself? So I would say you want to definitely invest in yourself. Change the books you read, change the people that you hang around, change the places that you go, start experiencing some stuff. This is not uncommon for a 19-year-old, man. But definitely take a look at, congratulations for owning it, but then start looking at areas where you are better than those around you, because everybody's a 10 at something. Mm-hmm. Identify where your 10 is, right?
And here's the deal, right? So sometimes our 10 thing isn't popular. And what we're doing is we're looking for acceptance for the mainstream things that might be college. Let's use college as a 19-year-old. What school do you go to? What's your major? Making our parents proud. It's the mainstream things. What's the main? But I've mastered, most of the things I've mastered aren't mainstream things. I made them mainstream things. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. People laugh so hard about notary business, Cortez. I have in my book bag, I have a stack full of checks because I'm working on some promotions when I was actually doing the jobs myself on a full-time basis. 200 here, 100 here, 500 here, 1,000 here. People laughed at it.
Wow.
You can't do that. How you make money doing that? I'm like, no, it's a traveling service. You do loan closing and other things. No, I don't know that. Checks don't lie. So we have to have confidence in mastering things that aren't popular. Lex?
Right.
Yeah, I've got a few things for the young brother, just so he can just kind of expand his perspective. One thing that I want this brother to understand is that we live in a society of illusion. And oftentimes, I have an 18-year-old son, and there's one thing that I beat into his head often. I say, don't give people more credit than they've earned. And oftentimes our intimidation of other people and our self-value and self-esteem is dropped based off of another person's illusion, not the real production in life. So it's important that when you look at the world and you look at the people around you, that they are real producers and they're just not illusionary. They haven't make sure they're not masters of disguise. Because when it comes to young folk like yourself, most individuals are still trying to feel their way around just like you. They just happen to make it look really good.
Indeed.
They happen to make it look really good. So another thing is, don't be afraid to be an original. Don't be afraid to be an original. Many times our young people, they feel like an outcast, or they feel like nobody values them just because they're unique. There is value in uniqueness, and don't be afraid to be an individual, because even though the box looks good, nothing original is present in that box. So when you put yourself in a box of everyone else to try to look and act and do like everyone else, then you lose your ability to offer something good to the world that they've never seen before. Mm-hmm. And you never really get to shine, like Cortez says, you never really get to shine who you really are and attract who you are, because you're constantly trying to be somebody else. So that kills your network and vibrate off rip, because you sound like everybody else that's around you. So tend not to be, don't allow yourself at that age to try to jump on the bandwagon of what society and what the internet and social media. Try not to jump on trends. Be a trendsetter. You know what I'm saying? Be a trendsetter. Create your own. And just listen. Do not give people more credit than they deserve, man. Make people show value in their life. And then along with that, make sure that, just like Cortez says, that you're constantly building yourself. You're constantly, feeding into your purpose and your passion, and be a servant, and approach life with the intention of love and understanding. Make sure that you're doing that, and brother, you'll be fine. You got a lot of time ahead of you if you cherish and show gratitude for those moments.
Indeed. And everybody should know the general, the leader, the man who runs Black Men United, Mr. Lex Kelly, aka Say Word.
Say word, baby.
Owner, husband, parent, and all around just great, phenomenal human being. He is going to be holding it down this week. And tomorrow, Lex, what's your topic for tomorrow, okay?
Tomorrow is and this would be really great for you, young king, young lion, how to create and develop a healthy relationship with yourself.
Ooh, hold on, say that again.
How to create and develop a healthy relationship with yourself.
So you mean like don't use woman for your ego and don't get on social media saying anything for likes? You mean internally?
Like this is, how do you view yourself? Because we're always, and I love, man, this is why I vibe with my brother Cortez, man, because he get it. This brother get it. You gotta understand, we are energetic beings before we're physical beings.
Indeed.
And we're highly reflective.
Mm-hmm.
So how you view yourself, what you think about yourself, what you understand about yourself is all reflective. And then you're going to reflect that into the universe, and that universe is going to respond accordingly to what you put out. So it's important that we have a healthy, functional relationship with ourselves, because when we have that healthy, functional relationship with ourselves, then we reflect it out into the universe, and then the universe then returns healthy, functional relationships in the form of other people who move like you. Then allows you to jump on all these great tools and tips that Brother Cortez Springer gave us. And now you're able to be more effective and efficient in them, because healthy people recognize healthy people, just like hurt people recognize hurt people.
Yep.
And that's so deep, man, because the first 28 years of my life or so, I tried really hard to convince the world I really was who I was pretending to be.
Wow.
And it literally drove me crazy.
There are people in prison, a lot of people, most people in prison are there for trying to be somebody who they didn't want to be. They were trying to get in with the crowd.
Yep.
They didn't have Black United, so they joined a gang. When all they really wanted was just some other male attention.
Right.
Unity.
Right.
But they saw the gang opposed to us.
Yeah. Somebody to say, man, it's cool to be you.
That's deep.
It's all right.
It's all right to be you. And it's all right to not know who you are currently. It's okay. Like, yo, you're trying to figure it out. What's wrong with trying to figure it out? It's okay. This is leader Lex Kelly's group, Lex Kelly Live. Everyone check that out. Lex Kelly has some hardcore gems for you. T says, I appreciate y'all kings so much. You guys have no idea. This just uplifted my whole vibe. Thank you so much. Thanks, T.
Now, let me tell you something, T. I'm sorry, Dre. Let me tell you something, T. This is something important for you to understand. What you just wrote, you said, I appreciate you kings so much. You guys have no idea. This just uplifted my whole vibe. Understand, brother, we couldn't have did nothing without you. We didn't drag you here.
That's deep.
You came here on your own. You know, we already had our intentions set for what we were going to display tonight. This was months in planning, you know, but you came here on your own. So I say this all the time. People, you know, I'm sure all of us get this all the time. Man, we appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing for me. And I tell people this all the time. I can't do for you what you don't allow me to do. So if I affected you, if I uplifted you in any type of way, pat yourself on the back, because I'm only here because you let me.
Yeah.
And that gives you power, brother. That gives you all the power in life that you need, that you know that all you have to do is show up. Show up and grow. If you don't show up for yourself, then nobody's going to be able to feed into you.
That's deep.
Open the door. Open the door of your heart and your energy, and trust me, man, great people will pour into you.
Nice.
Love it. Well, we appreciate your time, guys. Everybody say thank you to H. Cortez for joining us, holding it down. You got to go pick up his book, learn from him. I hardly ever give people blanket endorsements, because a lot of people just don't have good follow through, and a lot of people are critical of it. But I give H. Cortez a blanket endorsement. Whatever he is selling, telling you, it might not be for you, but it ain't gonna hurt you. It will not hurt you. I endorse what this king does. Thank you, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Glad to be here, man. Anytime, man. You guys let me know. Looking forward to you tomorrow night, Lex.
Yeah, indeed, man. Look forward to seeing you, brother, man. We appreciate you so much.
Yes, sir. And I know you're in the A, man. Next time I'm in the A, probably next month, man. I'm going to look you up, bro.
Holla at me. Do that.
Yes, sir. All right, guys.
All right, Lex, see you, Ken. Holla you tomorrow.